What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Confidently Flawed. Brooke and Danny here, and we are joined for another week with Ted Zotos, a leadership coach, and we've heard from him a lot on this podcast. We had him last week when we had such a wonderful conversation. If you missed that, be sure to hit pause and go back to last week's episode because it was gold. And we're gonna pick up that conversation slightly talk about something different, but really all along the concept of leadership and just goal setting. And Ted just has so much wonderful knowledge to bring to you guys. And I hope you guys get as much value from him as we do, because he truly has been just a wealth of knowledge of just overall leadership and self-love. And I could go on and on and on. But Ted, welcome back.
Oh,
This
so
week
sweet.
we've got an exciting topic, and it's something that I'm so curious to hear about because it's, kind of talking it through with you. I was like, okay, I'm really looking forward to this one. So we're going to talk about prize, fight, or days. So Ted, I want to turn it over to you. Did I say that wrong?
Prize fighter,
Prizefighter.
like a prize fighter.
Oh,
That's hey,
okay.
it's all good. Hey, it's all
Oh,
good.
all
got
right,
it.
let me repeat that. So today we're going to talk about prize fighter days. And Ted, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Brooke. And we talked about this in the last episode. Much of this information comes from one of my mentors, Ben Newman, who I'm a certified coach with Ben Newman, and he, as I mentioned last episode, he took 50 of his coaches throughout the country, and we went through a routine with him. We went through training, and he kind of took us behind the scenes of how he became a coach and then how he coaches. And he's been extremely successful over the past 20 years. So one of his concepts is called the Prizefighter Days. And this information comes from his 6 mental toughness tool playbook. And this is tool number 4, and it's called Building Your Prizefighter Days. And really, it's not just another daily routine, it's an action plan. And it's really how you set your morning up and what you do every single day. And the idea is that you're becoming obsessed with the process and not the results. This is the odd part. So you are obsessed with the process and not the results. So you've heard this before. You've heard athletes say this before. I basically did all I could. There's nothing more I could have done. Or if you have a golf championship, the person makes the putt, they make the putt. And they win. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's nothing more you could have done. You can't go back in time and say, yeah, I should have actually out of that bunker, I should have done this or that, or I should have hit a different club, using the golfing analogy. You've stayed in your process day after day. It was a relentless process. And you did all you could, but the results didn't just go in your favor. And that's really what these prize fighter days are, is you're setting up a routine, an action every day for success. And it's very habitual. And that's the idea, that you're creating this action plan. And I'm going to talk about how to create these prize fighter days. I'll also have some information on my website at realtedtalk.com. And it'll have some of these sheets that I'm discussing now. So don't worry about taking fear version notes. I'll add that to my website. So here we go. So these actions, remember, they're not goals. These are actions you do every day to own your prize fighter day. So it's all about mental mindset. Everything I teach, and now poor Danny is one of my clients. So the accountability is with me. So when he says he's going to do something, it's not like, I may do it, I may not do it. He may fire me, but I'm going to ask the question. You made a commitment to yourself, not just to me.
Yeah.
I'm just the guy that's going to say, look you in the eyes and say, did you do what you said you were going to do? We meet every couple of weeks, and here's what it is. And he comes up with an action. And he can't really weasel out of it. He can, but he'll be honest. Or most of my clients, my coaching clients, will say, I didn't do it. And that's okay. And some just, they're not ready to be coached. So their mind is not prepared for someone to hold them accountable, because I'm not their spouse or significant other. I'm their coach. Like any athletic coach, is to basically, I'm trying to help you become the best person you can be. And that's what these Prizefighter Days do. So usually you're going to have a personal activity example. I'll give one of those examples, and a business or a professional activity as well, and then service to others. So you have personal, you'll have professional, and also service to others. So what you need to think about is, what are you going to do every day with yourself? And we discussed this last week. You have a personal promise, you'll have a professional promise, but also what I didn't discuss are acts of service. So what can you do to really enhance someone else's life? If it's a text, if it's just something to raise someone's mood beyond yourself, some way you can give gratitude, daily gratitude to someone else beyond yourself. So you have your personal promise, your professional promise, and your acts of service. And that's just part of kind of how you're creating your Prizefighter Days. And the Prizefighter Days, I'm gonna read you a quote by Mac Jones. Mac was a two-time national champion with the Alabama football team. He's also an NFL quarterback now. And he's, pardon me? Kind of, yeah. He was with the Patriots. He was with the Patriots, and he got traded to the Jaguars. But let's just talk about his college career. He was a stud in college.
He was very good.
He was. So Ben Newman worked with the Alabama football team between the years of 2017 and 2022. And Mac was one of his students, so to speak. And this is what Mac said really about the Prizefighter Days. He says, I learned while at Alabama that you have Prizefighter Days. Why? Because Ben Newman taught him. When stacking Prizefighter Days, you develop the uncommon mindset. You prepare to attack the field, and you take an uncommon mindset to the game. You see, high levels of success are uncommon. Sustaining them is even more uncommon. Prizefighter Days prepare you to attack the big goals that create, which allows you to reach peak performance. So anyone can do this. It's a very specific, and it's a way of taking on every morning and every day in a systematic way. And these are what these Prizefighter Days are. And let's walk through really what Prizefighter, how it starts with the Prizefighter mornings. So I'll give you some examples. The first thing, obviously the day begins with the morning, and you have a routine. So you wake up, and what do you connect to? What's your guess? What do you connect to in the morning?
I guess your phone.
Okay, you connect it, but what should you connect to? So you're saying you connect to the phone. First thing you do is wake up. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you.
I thought you're more saying a general thing. I've been really good with my phone in the morning.
I took a drink of water, sorry. So when you wake up, you want to connect to your, what was the last episode? What was the last episode?
Oh, your burn.
Your burn.
Okay.
Yes. You want to connect to your burn. So you're waking up, you're connecting to your burn. So you intentionally create an environment that honors your commitments to yourself and to your family, no excuses. So you wake up and you connect to your burn. That's why when Ben talks about it, he writes it out. The first thing he does, that's step number one. And like I said, I'll give you a sheet that goes over all these. The next thing, which my friend is doing next to me, hydrate. You have to drink 8 ounces of cold water, for instance, to get your body working. And I guess if you take any supplements too. So you got to drink some water, because you lose water when you sleep. Sometimes you'll wake up, you're hot throughout the night, and you'll actually feel sweaty. My wife says she never does. She doesn't perspire. But I do.
She sparkles.
Yeah, she sparkles, right. So the second thing you do is hydrate. Number one, wake up and connect to your burn. Number two is hydrate. The third thing, acts of service and prayer or meditation. So it's kind of lumped together. It's acts of service. So what are you going to do to really make it positive for others? And it could be just through a daily text. You're going to text one person. All the people you know, you're going to text one person. Hey, thinking of you today. Hope you have a great day. That's it. I had a friend of mine that he seems so glum. And he seemed so glum, and it bothered me. I thought about him that night, and I thought about him the next morning. And I sent him a text. I said, rejection is God's way of protection. Rejection is God's way of protection. he didn't get a job that he was going for, and he didn't get two jobs, and he just seemed so bummed out. And the job that he's in is a great job, but he wanted another position and he didn't get it. And you just saw like he was defeated. And I said, you're not less than. It just wasn't, and you've heard this before, it just wasn't right. But no one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear like, hey, it's just not your time. There must be a greater reason. And usually there is. There's a greater reason why something doesn't happen in your life. So, acts of service to someone else and prayer meditation. Third thing, my friend Brooke mentioned this, visualization. Ben's into big I am statements. So when you visualize, it's I am statement. So let's say when I started my coaching business years ago, I had to say to myself, I am a coach. I am a coach. I'm a personal and professional development coach. I'm a personal and professional development coach. I'm a personal and professional development coach. I have to say to myself, I'm this, because people are giving me their money. And when you're providing a service to help out others and people are paying you for your service, you think, are you worthy of it? So you have to visualize you are in that position. You are that person. I am pregnant, not I am. Using Brooke's situation, not that she talks about it, so it's not personal. She talks about it. It's something that you're visualizing. I am pregnant, and that's goes along with your morning routine. The fifth one is reading. So reading is a big one for me. Maybe it's if you read 10 pages a day in a book, you can read the whole book in a month. So maybe you're reading the Bible. Maybe you're reading a daily devotional. Maybe you're doing something you need to feed your mind with positivity. And that usually deals with reading, quiet reading. We're not talking about nothing wrong with podcasts, nothing wrong with webinars, but we're talking about reading books or devotionals. So it's eyes going to page, going to words. So that's really a different process of how your brain looks at information. And when you're taking in visual, insofar as reading text, it's very different than looking at the TV. So that's reading. The sixth one is organize and prepare. So in the morning, remember this is every day, you're looking at your to-do list. What are your main priorities for the day? Start with the ugliest ones first, the most difficult ones first. People do the easy ones first, and then they get sidetracked or they start surfing and they start doing things that aren't important to what their promises are. Remember, everything is rooted in your personal and professional promise. So you have to make sure to organize and prepare for the day with your most difficult things first. Most difficult things first. Next is your workout. And it really starts with the workout. So once you're kind of going through these things, looking at your day, and then you're working out. And not that these things take very long. 1 through 6 doesn't have to take very long to do. If you're waking up, connecting to your burn, you're hydrating, acts of service or prayer, meditation, visualization, reading, you're organizing, and then you're going to work out. Whatever that workout is. If it's a workout day, maybe it's not a workout day. Maybe it's not a workout day. The last thing is, of course, your nutrition. You have to make sure to be true to your nutrition. And maybe it is, it's a food window. So you're eating between 10 and 6 only. So if you're waking up, doing all these things, you're not even probably eating anything, you're drinking, then you're going to work out, and maybe you're done really before your eating window begins, or maybe your eating window starts at 9 o'clock, you're going 9 to 5. Whatever your eating window is, if you believe in that, that's another strategy, is your nutrition. So food is your fuel. You probably heard it more than numerous times from these two folks on the podcast about how nutrition is really the key to it all. Nutrition is the building block. You can work out as much as you want. If you don't properly eat, you're not going to be in peak physical performance.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, right? And it's that's a lot of what this thing is on. So yeah, I mean, this is great, Ted. I think you know, sometimes people might get overwhelmed with like doing all these different things. Like, and I think even if you just start small, you know what I mean? Start with a couple of them and build them over time. Like, I just love that it's about setting the tone. Like that to me, that's like what it references. Like you're starting the day with, you know, a state of gratitude or a state of positivity with the reading or the visualization and like what you're aiming to do, right? And then you start actually diving into like your real world things. Like, okay, I'm in a good state now. I've changed my state. Now let's get into like, let me prepare for the day. Let me take action and challenge myself with a workout, right? Because you should always do something to challenge yourself physically or mentally every day. And then you're diving into the nutrition to make it all work long term, right? And I think that's really important for, you know, having those prize fighter days or setting the tone for the right type of day because we all want this kind of day, right? But if we just keep expecting it to happen and not taking control of the day and building a system, we talk about this a lot, is people that are successful in certain endeavors in life have a system, right? This is a system of setting the tone for the right type of day that you want, right?
There's no question. The most successful people are ones that take care of themselves mentally and physically, and also have a system of success. And that's what this prize fighter day is all about. It starts with the morning and how you're kicking off the day. And then it goes into what I believe are the promises, which are your personal and professional promises. The promises, remember, are to yourself. And that's what you need to do, is really kick off the day and then not forget your promises and visualize them. Have these out there in front of you. So when you're sitting or looking in the morning, or if you're praying, you have your day set up for you. And that's what you're really looking at, is trying to be successful with your mornings and of course your whole day.
Yeah, I love this all. And I want to piggyback on, you know, Danny's comment in the sense of starting your day off right. I mean, I can just think of when I used to not have a morning routine, or I used to hit snooze all the way up until I literally had to get up, and then I'm running around the house to like get ready and have my breakfast and do all the things. I mean, just thinking back on that, those days I was so anxiety ridden. I was so stressed. I wasn't like awake. I wasn't alert versus like the mornings now. I mean, I don't know if you remember, Ted, but last time you were on, I set the goal to myself to wake up and read the Bible every single day. And I have been almost perfectly faithful with that still continuously.
Awesome.
And that has helped me so incredibly much to just start my day off on the right path. And, you know, I think just having those types of morning routines, I mean, we had a whole episode on that of morning routines. I think this just fits so perfectly with it, kind of breaking it down a little bit more, but starting your day off more successful. I mean, there is a reason why successful people are successful. They have, you know, a plan. They have a consistent, maybe it's not consistent every single day. You know, obviously life happens, but it's not flustered. They have something set in stone. It's not just like, oh my gosh, I got to rush to work. I barely ate a breakfast. I just grabbed a quick granola bar on the door, and just taking that time. I mean, I try to wake up like even 10 minutes earlier than I usually do, just to allow that space for myself to be able to be calm and be slow and pray. And I'm going to be adding this burn into my day. I think that's something that's going to be so special. So I think this is really, really great information.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad. Hopefully you guys got some information about the prize fighter days. That starts with this morning. Like I said, I'll provide the information on my website at realtedtalk.com. And if I can help any of you with any kind of coaching, call me up. I give 30 minutes, no charge, and maybe I can help you as well, put you in the right frame of mind, like my boy Danny over here, as he continually drinks, and hydrates beyond his 8 ounces. So thank you guys for inviting me back. Maybe I'll be back for another episode. We'll talk about emotional and relaxation triggers.
Love it. Well, Ted, thank you so much for coming on. Those who are listening, I will link all of his information, his website, his Instagram, all of his stuff in the show notes. You can easily check out all that he has to offer, and you can reach out to him if you are interested in working directly with him. So thanks again for being a guest yet again on Confidently Flawed, and we'll be back next week with another episode.